The secret plot to steal Abraham Lincoln's body and hold it for ransom. On a cold night in 1876, a group of criminals slipped into Abraham Lincoln's tomb carrying ropes, tools, and a plan so absurd it almost sounds made up. Their target was the body of the dead president himself. Within minutes, Lincoln's coffin was being dragged from its resting place while nervous men waited in the dark outside. And somehow, this bizarre operation involved counterfeit money, undercover agents, political panic, and one of the strangest ransom plots in American history. So how did a gang of counterfeiters end up trying to kidnap Abraham Lincoln's corpse? Well, here is the story. America's counterfeiting crisis. To understand how anyone arrived at the idea of stealing Abraham Lincoln's body, we have to begin with something far less dramatic, though probably more useful to criminals: fake money. You see, in the years after the Civil War, counterfeiting was a serious problem in the United States. Paper currency had become more common during the war, and criminal gangs quickly realised that printing convincing fake bills was easier than robbing banks, less noisy than sticking up stagecoaches, and generally better for the knees. This was such a major issue that the Secret Service, created in 1865, was originally formed to fight counterfeit currency rather than protect presidents. One of the most valuable men in the underground world was Benjamin Boyd, a skilled engraver connected to a Chicago counterfeiting ring. Boyd's talent made him dangerous because a gang could only pass fake money if the bills looked real enough to fool shopkeepers, banks, and anyone unlucky enough to be handed one. In that business, the engraver was the engine. Without him, everyone else was just a man with confidence and very suspicious pockets. Then Boyd was arrested in 1875 and sent to prison in Joliet. For the gang, this was not a small inconvenience. It was closer to having the factory burned down while the sales team was still promising delivery. Their ability to produce high-quality counterfeit bills had been badly damaged, and the people making money from Boyd's work needed him back. This is where James Big Jim Kennelly entered the story. He was tied to Chicago's counterfeiting scene, and with Boyd locked away, the gang needed leverage powerful enough to force the government's hand. Regular bribery, threats, and criminal whining were not going to free a valuable engraver from prison. So the question became dangerously simple. What could they take that America would be desperate to get back? The most insane ransom plan in American history. The answer the gang landed on was Abraham Lincoln's body, which is one of those ideas that should have been stopped by the first person in the room with working common sense. By the mid-1870s, Lincoln had been dead for over a decade, yet his memory still carried enormous emotional weight across the country. He had led the Union through the Civil War, been assassinated just days after that war was effectively ending, and then turned into a national symbol of sacrifice, grief, and victory. His tomb in Springfield, Illinois, was already a place people visited with reverence. So, to the counterfeiters, Lincoln's remains looked like the perfect hostage, which tells you quite a lot about the quality of the meeting. The demand was supposed to be simple. The thieves would steal the coffin, hide it, and then offer to return it in exchange for two things: the release of Benjamin Boyd from prison and around $200,000 in cash. For a gang whose business model involved fake money, asking for real money was at least a nice professional upgrade. The plan focused on Lincoln's tomb at Oak Ridge Cemetery. At the time, the tomb did not have the level of protection people might expect for the resting place of a murdered president. There were no layers of modern security, no armed federal unit watching every corner, and no dramatic underground vault built for exactly this kind of nonsense. The gang believed they could break in, remove the coffin, load it onto a wagon, and take it away before anyone serious noticed. Their intended hiding place was reportedly the Indiana Dunes, a remote enough location to make recovery difficult and negotiations painful. In their minds, this gave them leverage over the government. In reality, it gave them a plan that depended on stealing a president's coffin, transporting it across state lines, hiding it in sand, and hoping everyone involved stayed calm. Naturally, things were already moving toward disaster. The Secret Service infiltrates the plot. Once the plan moved from criminal fantasy into actual preparation, the gang needed extra hands. Stealing a coffin from a tomb, moving it through the dark, and hauling it away without attracting attention was not exactly a one-man job, especially when the coffin belonged to Abraham Lincoln and the consequences involved the full emotional rage of the United States. So the thieves brought in another man, Louis Swaggles, to help with the operation. This turned out to be a poor hiring decision, which is a useful reminder that criminal background checks are difficult when everyone involved is already a criminal. Swaggles was secretly working as an informant for the Secret Service, And once he learned what the gang intended to do, the government suddenly found itself dealing with one of the strangest cases in its young agency history. At this point, the Secret Service was still mainly focused on counterfeiting. Protecting presidents would come much later. So, in a very strange way, the agency entered the Lincoln tomb plot through its normal line of work. They were tracking counterfeiters, and the counterfeiters had somehow wandered into corpse ransom as a side project. The agents began watching the gang closely. They learned when the attempt would happen, when the men planned to enter, and how they expected to escape. The whole situation had the feeling of a serious federal investigation mixed with something a tired detective would refuse to believe before finishing his coffee. Then came another problem. The agents had to catch the thieves in the act. If they moved too early, the gang could deny everything. If they moved too late, Lincoln's coffin might actually disappear into the night, which would be slightly awkward for everyone involved. So the Secret Service prepared a trap at Oak Ridge Cemetery. Men were placed near the tomb, waiting in the darkness as the thieves approached. The plan was simple enough. Let the criminals begin, then arrest them before they escaped. And as history repeatedly proves, any plan described as simple enough is usually standing very close to disaster. The attempt. On the night of November the 7th, 1876, the thieves finally made their move. Under the cover of darkness, two members of the gang arrived at Oak Ridge Cemetery and entered Lincoln's tomb carrying tools and very unrealistic expectations about how smoothly the evening was going to go. Getting inside turned out to be surprisingly easy. The padlock on the tomb was cut without much trouble, which immediately raised some uncomfortable questions about the security protecting one of the most important bodies in American history. Once inside, the men made their way toward the marble sarcophagus holding Lincoln's coffin. The atmosphere inside the tomb was reportedly cold, quiet and dimly lit, which sounds exactly like the sort of place where sensible people decide to leave immediately. The thieves got to work quickly. They managed to move the heavy marble lid and began pulling Lincoln's cedar coffin partly out of the sarcophagus. Their plan was to carry it outside, load it onto a wagon and disappear before authorities realised what had happened. Meanwhile, Secret Service agents and local law officers were hiding nearby waiting for the signal to arrest them. Unfortunately, the arrest operation immediately suffered from the same disease that affects many rush government plans: confusion. Some accounts say that one of the officers accidentally fired a gun during the stakeout. Others suggest the agents simply moved too early. Either way, the sudden noise shattered any chance of a clean arrest. The thieves panicked and bolted from the tomb into the darkness before officers could properly corner them. Lincoln's coffin was abandoned halfway out of its resting place while the men escaped into the night. Considering the criminals had spent weeks planning the operation, the entire thing ended with the energy of a disastrous rehearsal nobody wanted to admit they attended. The failed theft quickly became national news, and Americans suddenly discovered that Abraham Lincoln had come disturbingly close to being kidnapped 11 years after his death. The government panic. After the attempted theft became public, officials quickly realised they had a serious problem on their hands. A group of counterfeiters had managed to walk into Abraham Lincoln's tomb, open the sarcophagus, and begin removing the coffin before anyone stopped them. For many Americans, this sounded less like a failed robbery and more like the beginning of a national embarrassment. The immediate fear was simple enough. If thieves had gotten this close once, they could probably try again. Lincoln remained one of the most respected figures in the country, and the thought of his remains disappearing into the hands of criminals was horrifying to the public and deeply humiliating for the authorities responsible for protecting the tomb. As a result, officials began quietly moving Lincoln's coffin between hidden locations inside the monument. Over the following years, only a very small group of trusted caretakers knew where the body actually was. At different times, the coffin was reportedly hidden beneath piles of lumber, buried under dirt inside the tomb, and concealed in temporary vaults to keep potential grave robbers from finding it. Visitors continued arriving at Oak Ridge Cemetery, believing Lincoln rested peacefully in his proper chamber while, somewhere nearby, caretakers were essentially playing an elaborate game of historical hide-and-seek with a dead president. Meanwhile, the thieves themselves did not exactly emerge as criminal masterminds. Several were eventually captured and prosecuted, though grave robbing laws at the time were surprisingly weak, leading to punishments that felt fairly modest considering the crime involved Abraham Lincoln's corpse. The entire episode left the government with an uncomfortable realization. Lincoln's assassination had already turned him into a national symbol. The attempted theft transformed his tomb into something that needed ongoing security, secrecy, and federal attention long after his death. Finally, in 1901, the decision was made to place Lincoln's coffin in a permanent underground vault at the tomb. Before the final burial, the coffin was opened so the witnesses could confirm that the body inside was truly Lincoln. According to those present, his face was still recognisable decades after his assassination, which must have been both deeply moving and extremely uncomfortable for everyone in the room. After that, Lincoln's coffin was sealed beneath steel and concrete, ending years of movement, secrecy and anxiety around his body. The counterfeiters never got Boyd released, never got the ransom money, and never became the criminal geniuses they apparently believed themselves to be. Their only lasting achievement was accidentally proving that even Abraham Lincoln, 11 years after his death, still needed better security than the average bank vault. And if this is what the criminals tried to do to Abraham Lincoln's body, what other famous American relics came dangerously close to this incident? Share your thoughts in the comment section below, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.